Hello, brothers of the internet, and welcome to this video where today I will be attempting to build a communist sports car from 1964. And, well, what else is there to say other than there's a few bodies we can use? Let's see. I don't think we'll be using a pickup truck. What do we have with a rear engine? Now, I do have an idea, and it's to keep this thing as light as possible. So we're going to need to use a body that is light. This is an old body, but I guess it will have to do. Because if we want rear engines, well, that is going to be probably the most workable unit. We can go with a ladder frame or a unitary. We could, but unitary is very early technology at this point. And they probably wouldn't have the money to play with it. So, this is what we're going with. There is fiberglass and aluminium available, but they are expensive materials. How are we going to ever have the money? I'm sure I selected rear engines. Oh dear. You can't go with rear unless it is a unitary or a light truck. Interesting. I guess we'll have to go with this then. Although it's going to be expensive. I mean, it does exist. So, there's that playing on our side. We're longitudinal. Let's see. We don't want double wishbone. We could have struts all around. If only we could have a swing axle like the Beetle had. Basically just rip off the Beetle but call it a sports car. So, what else do we have? We have leaf springs on the front is a possibility. We could go with that coil, but then that seems to have all kinds of problems. Yeah, I think struts front and rear. They are very cheap, yet it is still fully independent suspension. So just what the communist country needs. It's cheap, yet does the job, presumably. The engine is where it's going to get a little crazy. We're going to go with an inline 3 to save money because it's a lot simpler than having 4 cylinders or 5 cylinders or however many. And 2200 cc's, yeah. There's no inline 5. There's also no V5 or VR5 as you might call it. At this point in time anyway, so we couldn't go with that. 2.2 litres is massive, but it still fits, no trouble. I think we could have a 1.6 inline 3. The engine will just blow up if we make it too big, so that's not really a possibility. Do we want push rod? Or do we want overhead cam? Depends how much power we're pushing for. I think we want push rod, though, because it will be cheap to manufacture. Especially since the engine is relatively large for the time. We want to save money somewhere. We'll go with cast iron internals. Ooh, we can actually go with some forged bits. It's surprising seeing them around this early in time periods. It has to be naturally aspirated. Fuel injection also exists, but we won't be using that. We'll be using some eco-carbs. Or an eco-carb, maybe. I'll just stick to an inline 4 then, if that's what I have to do to get 2 carburetors on it. Although it seems a little odd. I'm sure in real life you'd be able to put 2 carburetors on this if you wanted to. Wouldn't you? Or at least 3. You could put 3 carburetors on it. Definitely like 1 for each intake. So, yeah, it would kind of be 1 or 3, I'm guessing, but it could be done. But at that point, then there probably wouldn't be any reason in going for an inline 3 anyway. Yeah, because you might as well upgrade it to an inline 4 by that stage. Anyway, little 1.6. What was it that hadn't a 1.6? I'm trying to think. Some car had it. I don't think it was the 86, was it? Not Toyota 86, the old one, Corolla A86. I think that may have had a 1.6. Yeah, we're Not quite an AE86 though. Anyway, let's see what else we can do. Naturally aspirated, yeah. Now we can go with the twin carbs. Excellent. We'll go with a standard intake and low quality fuel because it runs on vodka. And yeah, someone's going to get really upset by that, even though it was just a joke about how rugged my engine is, based on stereotypes. Anyway, let's see how much power we can get it up to. Come on. I'm losing power. I'm a terrible engineer. Ooh, I got it to kind of hike up again. There we are. Now, it doesn't have to be particularly quick. It only has to make 50 or so horsepower. Because it is such an old car, I don't think anyone's going to care if it's not the most powerful in the world. We are running a very high cam profile to make the power. And I'm guessing we'll need to tweak the ignition timing to kind of help us some more. No? Okay. So it's at 5,000 RPM. It makes 50 horsepower. Maybe a bit more when we've, done that. Smaller exhaust saves a bit of weight, since we don't need a bigger exhaust, and it'll give us 1 extra horsepower, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. 50.7 it's saying. Either way, that's our 50 threshold. It has to be this one then, apparently if it's rear engined. It'll do, okay? And what else? I don't know. Can't seem to grasp it. There we go. Now I can grasp it. This is going to be slightly weird for the time period. It looks very behind. It's from the 1940s, is it? Yeah, we can bring all the stuff back because it looks cool. Even if it's technically a rear engine car. Bring that up. Yes. This is very, how do you say it? Oh, we can have our fins. Can bring our fins down just a bit. Can still have some fins, just not big ones. The worst time of fins is over now. Well, I say the worst time. I like fins, but hey, apparently everyone else doesn't. Not anymore. So, what else do we have? We have these headlights. And they fit okay, actually. They're not perfect, but they fit. I don't know how to do this design, I won't lie. We could go with an automatic. In communist country, automatic gets you... automatic gets you spec list. I don't know. We want a manual. It's a sports car. Maybe a 3-speed. We don't quite want the cutting edge technology because cutting edge technology is more expensive. So, here we have the video where some things went wrong. Basically, my recording audio software decided it didn't want to record audio. Now, it's not that I was bugging out because it decided later on the clip it was going to start recording again. But yes, so I have just decided the best way to get around it is record the changes in such a way that I am now. So you'll see the video sped up and it is going quickly as I try and get an engine that makes 50 horsepower from very few cc's on low quality fuel. It kind of works, but it's still just under 50 horsepower. We do end up with a 3-speed manual transmission, that is how it ends up. And it is front wheel drive as well, but it does only weigh more or less about 600 kilograms, so it's very, very lightweight. And it certainly does have a competitive power to weight ratio to other sports cars of this era, even if it doesn't look particularly sporty. Remember as well, this car does have 4 seats, so it is a very seaty car, because I'm not sure that's even a particularly real word, but hey, I've invented it now. It is a very seaty vehicle. As far as getting the actual design of the car done, well, I was pretty poor at it. The suspension, surprisingly enough, I have got independent front and semi-independent rear, so I kept that pretty good. I think it is trailing arm on the back and McPherson strut on the front, so things went quite well there. And the handling, I reckon, eventually came out quite well. You'll see all these fine little tweaks to the brakes and everything. It does pay off, even when the car isn't particularly high-end. The design, it took a lot of tweaking, basically. And even now, I'm not fully proud of what I have done. The rear is pretty good, but the front, well, I can't describe it as pretty if I try. It had a nose for a short period of time. But yeah, it is better than it could be. I'll leave it at that. It could be a whole lot worse than it is. So, yes, the Viva. So that's what I called it. And we've got fuel filler caps and door handles and everything. Okay, so thankfully the audio does appear to be working, but it's just so quiet through my headphones. But anyway, there's the sound. I did realise as well, just now, it's not got any exhausts. So I forgot something, as per the usual course of action. But hey, we have a bonnet ornament here, which is interesting. Attempt 2. Let's see how this goes. With our leisurely pace at the starting line. Yeah, I tried, and then I punched my microphone and everything went wrong, and I didn't get the gears correct. But this time, things will be nice. Things shall be nice, I say. This is a car made by communists in the 60s. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Oh, my TV could possibly want to turn off. Oh, come on. Yes, I saved it. I mean, I had to say it when my TV's "I will turn off" message comes up. Like, you have 60 seconds to live. That kind of thing. But I am still on the course with a functional vehicle, amazingly. Probably owing to how slow it is. And we can get around here. Yeah, I'm going to fully floor it around here because I know how this corner is. It's not too vicious, you can just get round it. I'm not too close to that wall on the right. I know what that's done to the key card before, which had more power than this and better acceleration and more gears for that matter. And I am getting close to the top speed. I'm not focusing on where I'm going even. It does appear to be veering to the right. I'm not sure what could be causing the car to do that. Torque steer on something with this little power, perhaps. Oh, those brakes, I would say were really effective, but I was just travelling at no speed. So I guess those brakes do the job, is probably a better way of putting it. We'll go, again, full speed across here. Feels like I'm going, it feels like I'm going so slow. Probably because I am. But I don't know, at the same time, I feel I could go quick in this. At least semi-quick. And again, I've left that message on. I'm sorry, I'm so incompetent. Oh. Whoa! That was an unexpected problem, let's say. I thought this was well enough set up. You know, it's on decent enough progressive suspension and it sits low to the ground and it's on a unitary chassis. I tipped it though, you know. So I've got to be aware of that when pushing it. It will tip over. Kind of like a death trap. Like the Porsche 911, but it's a death trap because it tips over, not because it tries to kill you. You see, back at that corner there, it almost tipped over. It's just catching the curbs too quickly in this. And even though the thing has no speed, I could still catch the curbs too quickly. I could still clip them too much. I'm lost. I'm really lost as to how to describe the tipping. Yeah, it coped. It didn't tip until that first tip you saw, so I think it copes with the earlier parts of the course just fine. I'm actually flooring it now. Yeah, the third lap, provided everything works, I could go shockingly quick. I just have to learn where the limits are. Like that corner, I probably couldn't go 100% into it or it would tip. But I could go nearer to 100% than I was. I can floor it around here. Again, anything that's not like a very sharp 90-ish degree corner, I can floor it because it is a very nice handling car. But it's a very nice handling car with its own limits and with very little outright speed. I'm going too close to that wall. 259 for my first one. That is slow, but then I did tip it onto its side, and then quite swiftly got it back on to its wheels again and kept going. Anyway, that's beside the point. Can I beat the slowest vehicles here? Yep, slowing it here, flooring it out, hoping to keep some performance going. I think the red line is 7,400 if I remember correctly, there or thereabouts. So, yeah, I'm a short amount away from it. Come on, I must grasp that red line. I mustn't touch the brakes as much. Right, I'm going to try now to just lift off and not use the brakes. Unless I have to. Like this corner, there's no doubt about it. I'm going to have to use the brakes. It's where it tipped over before. So, things don't go ideally around there if you try too hard to go too fast. Here, I don't know, here's kind of 50-50. You have to know what you're doing, but if you know what you're doing, you can afford to go a little leany and get away with it. Like there, see, I managed to deal with the car, and it was better for it. And there we are, around about 30 seconds quicker than the first lap, just by virtue of knowing what I was doing and taking care. And getting a running start, obviously, that's the other part of it. Right, the brake is not the most important thing. Right now, lifting a bit. Then, sorry, lift. I did not use the brakes at all around that corner, and I was pushing for the most of it. Ooh, I've got a brake here. There was no other way I was going to get round there. I had to just brake and then hope for the best, and then shift a second. If anything, though, I'm actually grateful for that tip on the first lap because it didn't destroy my car. My car is still in great condition, and it actually led to my kind of better understanding that I need to know this car. I need to know it does have limits. The car is not perfect. The car is not immortal. The car will stop when you try and punish it. The car will give up when you try and punish it too hard. So again, gentle tap of the brakes into here. That worked quite well. Again, I'm keeping the revs at 6,000. I'm flooring it though to do such. And just under 6,000 now. Come on. The uphill doesn't help. The uphill doesn't help in the slightest. Oh. Again, slow it, but accelerate. Then, even if I am hitting brakes on this lap, it's either tapping them or slowing for a longer corner like this. Here, that was kind of tapping them a bit, but the other part of it was understanding a corner, you know, understanding that I can't just fly into there, but at the same time I don't want to go in there too slow and lose too much speed because it's kind of a momentum car at the same time. You need to use the speed you have. No braking here whatsoever. I lifted it up onto two wheels I think a bit, but it wasn't the worst, and we're going to take it again a few seconds off the last lap, so that was pretty good. All in all, that went pretty good. 223.902. So, let's see how that is. So, this vehicle did quite an impressive time, actually. It came about 5 seconds below the TAIF 500. Yes, that's understood. That was quite a powerful muscle car, though, remember. And it came slightly above the rally truck. I think that was 3 seconds if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that though. But it is above the rally truck, definitely. And for a 1960s communist car, I reckon that's quite impressive. Given that it's a race vehicle, it's not a very good race vehicle, but that was still a race vehicle, and our communist sports car has beaten it. So, with all being said and done, shift back into neutral, probably a good idea. With all being said and done, I'm going to leave it here for today, and I'll say goodbye until another day. May you tip in peace.